Do you guys even know what you're protesting? It's like you hear a story and then you go out and protest without knowing all the facts, or even any of the facts. Because a couple years ago, Obama did this same ban, and I didn't see any of y'all protest that. But yet, because of Trump actually did it, and he actually announced it, that's why you're so mad. Because he's being transparent. I thought y'all wanted the government to be transparent. So as soon as Trump says, hey, I'm going to be transparent, I'm going to actually tell y'all what I'm doing. Because the criticism we had about Obama and everybody else is that how the government works is they'll be doing something, and then a week later, then they'll tell you that they're doing it. So they will attack a country, and then a month later they say, hey, we're attacking Iraq. But they've been at war with Iraq for a month now. It's the same way the news works. A lot of the news stories that the mainstream media have is stories that are not actually happening in real time. So the Trayvon Martin case was actually an old case. It actually was, it was in their files for a while, and they said they waited for a good time to come out with it. We thought that thing happened yesterday. No, these stories are on file for a long time. You know probably how many stories they have on file that they don't put on TV because it doesn't fit the narrative. It's like they have to put certain news stories on TV so they can know, figure out what the trends are. They're not going to talk about something if you're not going to watch it. So there's probably a lot of cop killings that we don't know about. There's probably a lot of other atrocities they never talk about because you can't sell them. If you can't sell it, they're not going to talk about it. The mainstream media, they're corporations. They need to make money. The same as the government. They need to make money. So think about it though. With that immigration ban, all you got to do is follow the money. Who was making money off of this? You got people who protest. Most people know by now that most of the time when people protest, they're being funded by people. They're funded by George Soros and stuff. George Soros is an opportunist. He makes money off of tragedies. He creates tragedies, and then he makes money off of them. That's what. If you want to make money, you make the most off of tragedies. So, if you want to look at this immigration thing, you got to understand is who was making money off of this. Because they were saying how there were a lot of lawyers down there fighting for people that were trying to get into the country. Do you think those lawyers were there for free? No, they were making money. So if I'm a lawyer and I want to make some money, I will go down to this protest, act like I'm there, act like I'm down for the cause, and fight for people that want to come into the country. Because even though Trump did executive order, judges can block it. Do you think those judges were paid? Think about it. The judges were making money off of this thing too. So we talk about how we're anti-capitalism, but we're really not. We're capitalists all the time. It doesn't matter what we do. And you got unions down there. They're promoting their cause. Sometimes when you're down at these protests, you got a bunch of confused kids that don't know what they're doing. And then that draws everybody else, the opportunists. But you say, well, maybe the cause might have been noble, But we can't stop the opportunists. Because here's a group that don't protest. Indians, Indian people from India. I don't halfway see no Africans down there. I don't halfway see no Asians down there. I never be seeing rich people. If they're there, I don't know. Maybe you can't tell, but yeah, you don't see rich people, homeless people, Asian people, Indian people. You don't see none of these people. Africans. I don't know. I don't even see them half the time. Here you got these ignorant kids that are fighting for a cause they know nothing about. You're fighting for people you don't know. Some of these people are trying to kill you. They have no problem killing you. We don't know who these people are that are coming into our country. It doesn't matter if some of them are innocent. How many Muslims does it take to kill 50 people? It only takes one. So this argument about, I went off on a tangent again, but this argument about, well, not all Muslims are terrorists, that's not relevant. What's relevant is that one is enough. One person does atrocities every single day. Do we say, well, not all people? It's like when somebody takes if a person takes your wallet, do you say not all people are thieves? No. You focus on that one individual person that you need to get and put him in jail so he can be punished. You focus on that one person. That one person is relevant. Not everybody else that's not stealing anything. It's good. Not all Muslims are terrorists. That's good. You did a good job. But that's not relevant. What's relevant is that the one that could be a terrorist. There was one guy, I forgot which country it was. It was either Germany or Sweden. One guy took a truck and rammed it into I think it was like a Christmas tree or something. I think it was like having Christmas or something. One guy in a truck drove the truck into a building and killed, like, I don't know how many people it was, but it was enough for it to be relevant. And the answer from the Muslim community and everybody else was, well, not all Muslims are terrorists. What? Why are you even saying that? When somebody molests or rapes someone, do you say not all men are rapists? No. You focus on the individual that did it, and then you put that dude in jail. We need to focus on individual people. Why are there rapists anyway? Why are there any terrorists? The reason why we can never solve any problems is because we keep saying not all. Not all did this. No. We can't solve any problems if we keep saying that. If we keep saying not all Muslims are terrorists, instead of focusing on the ones that are, then we're always going to have terrorism. If we keep saying not all men are rapists, then we can't focus on the individuals that are rapists. How about we have no rape? How about we have no terrorism? How about we have no atrocities? How about how we have no poor people, no homeless people, no oppressed people? How about we stop that? No, we can't stop that. We just got to say not all, not all. We can't keep saying not all, not all. That's not relevant. What's relevant is the ones that are doing it. And Islam is the only religion that hasn't acknowledged that. It hasn't acknowledged that there's people in religion that shouldn't be there. You need to get rid of these people. You need to excuse yourself from these people. You can't keep defending them. And the problem is there's always going to be opportunists. So you're bringing in all these people. You don't know who these people are. The reason why you have a lock on your door is because you don't want to bring in people you don't know. The reason why you have a gate around your house is because you're trying to protect your family, protect your house, because you don't know who's in your neighborhood at all times. What keeps a person from robbing your house? Well, you have to have trust. You have to trust people, and you have to know that the people who are around you are going to be civil and are not going to rob you. In a civil society, you can trust the people around you, and you can, and then you'll know that nobody's going to take your stuff or cross this barrier, cross this border, and want to harm you. The reason why you have a security system, the reason why you have a lock on your door, and you have a gate around your house, because you don't know who's who. Because you don't know who's who, and you don't know who's a threat, you have to have security. You have to have a border. You have to have a lock on your door. Because you don't know who's who, and you're not always home. And you can't be protecting you can't protect your gate 24/7. I mean, you can if you want, but it's hard work to protect your gate 24/7. So the reason why people come into Africa and take their resources is because they don't have a border. They don't have a military. The reason why there's no terrorism in Israel is because they keep out the Muslims who want to kill them. Why would you willingly let people in that want to kill you? That's the dumbest thing. What are you like? Any civil society that wants to be great will not want any person in there that wants to kill them. Unless you have a death wish and you want to destroy our country, then yeah, you will let anyone in. And we can't say that all terrorists are men now. We can't say that no more. Because some of these terrorists are women. And some of the terrorists are children. So we can't say, well, we just got to block the men from coming in. Nah, some of these women are terrorists. And the problem with the women is they stick up for the men terrorists. And you know the kids are brainwashed. So it used to be that we would pick and choose who we want to bring into America. We would bring in the best Africans. We would bring in the best Jews. We tried to. We would bring in the best Germans, the best Italians. Well, we tried to. You know, some of them went, some of them went astray. But you know, we tried. But during that time when we was bringing in the Jews and we was bringing Italians and people from war-torn countries, is that during that time America wasn't a superpower. We were actually bankrupt after the Civil War. A lot of people died. We lost a lot of money, and we were doing pretty bad for a long time. It wasn't until it took about 200 years for us to get back on track. So yeah, after the Civil War was over, let's see, wait a second. No, about 200 years. It was about 100 years. It took about 100 years for us to get back on track. So probably during that time, that's when we was like, yeah, we'll bring in you're tired, you're poor. That's when we was like, yeah, we'll bring anybody in. You know, as long as you're going to contribute to society. And the Jews and the Germans and the Italians, they did contribute. They contributed in bad ways and good ways. And but that was when we were desperate. We did that because we were desperate and we didn't know who we were supposed to bring in and who was going to help out. But after a while, when we got ourselves together, then we started to say, okay, now that we have power, now we can actually choose who we want to bring in. We don't have to bring in just anybody. We can bring in certain Africans, certain Asians, certain Indians, certain Cubans, or Hispanics, or whatever. We can bring in certain people that are actually going to help us. But for the past, I guess, 10, 20 years, we haven't really been doing that. We've been bringing in just anybody. And a lot of people don't know, because it doesn't fit the narrative, that a lot of these used to be great countries, Sweden, Germany, because for the last 50 years, Germany, Sweden, stuff like that, they've been doing pretty good. Their economies are pretty awesome, and their countries are really safe. But for the last, probably maybe about 40 years, the country's been kind of going downhill. And they've been bringing in just anybody up in these countries. They don't vet nobody. they try to, but they're bringing in so much that it's hard to keep track. Now here's a problem. Now, the question people are asking is, why wouldn't you bring these immigrants over here? The problem with that is, people on the left are saying that America is a corrupt, evil country. If you're saying that your country is corrupt and evil, why would you want immigrants to come here? Why would you want immigrants to come from a bad situation to another bad situation? You must don't care about the immigrants, because you keep saying, see how when the left be talking, they always contradict each other and always become hypocrites in the end. They contradict each other and they become hypocrites. That's how you know they don't know what they talking about. I ain't gonna say they will not divide us, but you're dividing yourself from the free thinkers. You will not divide us. Like, what? It's like you're not listening to. You're divided from the people from the right. You're automatically divided. What are you talking about? It's the dumbest thing. It's the oxymoron. So it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, you're saying that America is a bad place. You're saying that's corrupt. You're saying that's evil. Why would you want the immigrants to come to America if you said that country is a bad place? You must don't care about the American. You must don't care about the immigrants if you're taking them from a bad place to another bad place. Anyway, so have you ever heard somebody say that they died leaving America? Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that? Here's two things you're never going to hear coming from America. Well, it's just two things you're never going to hear when it pertains to actual corrupt countries. You're never going to hear, "Hey man, I'm taking a vacation to Iraq. Hey man, I'm gonna take a vacation to Iran." How many people say that? I ain't never heard that. I ain't never heard nobody say, "Man, yeah, I'm gonna take a vacation to Iraq." I ain't never heard that. But you hear, okay, if you look at that banned list, okay, here's the thing. What people are not asking about the banned list is all the countries that are on this banned list are corrupt, messed up countries. If you make your country better, you won't be on the banned list. The people not on the banned list is countries that are our allies, and are countries that are good countries, or they're trying to be good. So if you want to get off this ban list, you're going to have to make your country better. So the problem with protesting is there's no responsibility. Nobody's never taking responsibility for nothing that they do. It's always somebody else's problem. It's always somebody else's fault. No, I don't have to change. They have to change. You look at Occupy Wall Street. Who was they blaming? They was blaming banks and corporations. They wasn't saying, "Hey, maybe we should take our money out the bank. Maybe we should stop supporting corporations." Nope. They still support corporations. They still have their money in the bank. And guess what? They blame everything on corporations, everything on banks. They blame nothing on themselves. They took no responsibility. That's why after it was over, the people around them that were seeing it from the outside, they made a whole bunch of money off of the dumb people that had no goal, no goal whatsoever. There was no goal, no plan. It was just blame people. Let's just blame these people. We don't have to change. We don't have to be better. We just have to blame these people. What was after Occupy Wall Street? You had the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, who was they blaming? They were blaming white racist cops. And then after a while, they said, forget it, we're just going to blame cops. Did black people take any responsibility while blacks were getting shot? No. And every time you brought up black on black crime, they said, again, blamed it on white systemic, I don't know, some dumb thing. There's some big words that don't mean nothing. They blame it on the system. They blame it on white people. They blame it on white privilege. They blame it on the drug war. They blame it on the government. How many people can you blame until you say, okay, nah, we got to take responsibility for what we did? Because over 700 shootings in Chicago, well, you know what that means? 2 shootings a day. Almost 2 shootings a day happening in Chicago. That's not normal. That's like a war zone now. You have to take responsibility. Alright, well, who's the other movement that likes to blame people? Feminism. Who do they blame? They blame white men, white straight males. They don't take no responsibility for nothing. They blame everything on white males. They don't say, hey, we got to be better women. Nope. They just say, you men have to be better. Let's take another movement. Let's see. Any other crazy movements that take blames? Take L's. The immigration thing. Who was they blaming? Trump. Who else were they blaming? The Republicans. The conservatives, or I guess true liberals. True liberals. Do they take any responsibility for what for the immigration ban? Nope. All they do is blame everything else on everybody else. It's not. I don't have to change. I don't have to go. I don't have to be a better. I don't have to go to the country and help them fix them. Nope. It's our problem. We are such a superpower, and we're so corrupt. Okay. You're saying that we're corrupt. You're saying that we're superpower. You're saying that we're evil. Why you even still here? why don't you go? I don't see you moving to Iraq. I don't see you moving to any of these places that they banned. If you're saying that Iraq and Somalia and Iran is so great, I don't see you trying to move there. But let's go back to what I was saying about you never hear people say that they died leaving America. A lot of times when people are coming from Cuba, coming from Venezuela, Guatemala, Mexico, Somalia, they died coming here. That's how bad they wanted to get here. And that's how bad how dangerous the trip was to get here. You better be glad that America is so great that if you want to leave, you're not going to die trying to leave. And if you want to come back in the legal way, you're not going to die trying to get here either. We talk about how we want to take a vacation to America. We talk about how we want to take a vacation to Mexico, to Canada, to France, to Europe. Because these are safe trips. You're not expecting to die when you leave America to go to France. Or going from France to America. That's how great these countries are, that we can make sure that it's a safe trip from America to France. How many people do you know say, I'm going to Iraq to stay? You never hear that. You hear people coming to America to stay. Because when you take a vacation to France, you either go on for vacation, or you might stay, you might not. But most of the time, people go for vacations. You're not going to vacation. That even happens. Most time when people say, "I'm going back to Somalia," it's because they have to give some money to their family there, or they want to talk to them, or I think the number one reason is they're trying to get their daughters to get married. A lot of these places have arranged marriages. I mean, can you imagine feminists who hate men and don't want to be with men, and when they bring in Sharia law, did you know in Sharia law, the woman has no choice in the marriage, the parents arrange the marriage? These feminists are so stupid. Oh my gosh, they don't even know that. Oh my God, how can you be so dumb? In Sharia law, in a lot of these cultures, a lot of these Muslim or Middle Eastern cultures, they have arranged marriages. You have no choice. Matter of fact, sometimes the women who don't want to be married, they throw acid on them, they burn them alive, they kill them, they behead them. What do you think they're going to do when they come here, when they bring the Sharia law? They're going to have you wearing burqas? I'm talking about burqas like this. The only thing that you can see is this. Only thing you can see is this, or maybe this. I'm talking about that. You want to bring that here? It covers your whole body? Oh my God. And arranged marriages? You don't think they're going to do that with you? They say, hey, you feminists here, you guys are not married to men. Oh no, we're not. We're mostly lesbians. No. Sharia law, no, y'all all have to be married. Y'all all have to be married to one of us. Oh my God, people are dumb. And when you hear from defectors, like people who actually come from these countries, oh my God, they hate these countries. Like, they be warning you too. A lot of times they don't want to warn you because those are repercussions. But on the Sharia law, women has only, her vote only counts 50% of the man. And under Sharia law, women have to be married at a certain time. And so at a certain time, they arrange a marriage, a family or a community or the masjid or whatever. At some point, a woman has to be married. And marriage is great as long as it's like you want to do it, but not when it's forced. But all these dumb feminist leftist idiots don't know that under Sharia law, once you bring that, forced marriages. And if you don't have a family, who you think's going to dictate the forced marriage? The Muslims. And like I said, the problem with Islam is that it hasn't been to enlightenment. It hasn't been to a point where you say, you know what, this right here cannot be in here no more. The reason why there's a New Testament is because it removed the crazy stuff. They removed the stuff that doesn't apply. And Islam is the only religion where it hasn't done that yet. The Arabic is crazy and the translation is crazy. If you have passages like you can hit your wife, okay, you need to take that out. You need to stop defending that. You can't keep saying, well, it doesn't mean, it means beat her lightly. How about you say, don't beat her at all? Anyway, and then you can marry while you're young, and there's so much crazy stuff in there. It needs to go. And if you take out the craziness, Islam will be fine. It's the same as Christianity. Christianity started out crazy, but they say, you know what? Some of this stuff about gays and women, this stuff don't apply no more. We got to take this stuff out. So they took it out. They don't even talk about it no more because it's not relevant. It doesn't improve society. We don't need that no more. That was for that time. So we have to, instead of saying maybe these countries shouldn't have been banned, we should be saying maybe they need to focus on making their countries better. Because why do you want to come to America so bad? Because our country is better. Why do you not want to stay in your country? It's because you know your country sucks. And you the reason why you would want to come is you already destroyed your country. That's why you're coming here to destroy our country. Because you already wrecked your country. Your country doesn't have a proper government, a proper military, a proper police, a proper banking system. And that's why you want to come here and wreck ours. Because you already wrecked your country. And now you want to come here and wreck our stuff. But Trump is like, nope. You ain't coming here wrecking our stuff. You can stay over here and wreck your stuff. And people saying, well, what's the reason for the border? Why would they have that? It's because Mexico cannot depend on us no more. You have to become a better country. You can't keep depending on us. You have to stay in your country and make it better. If your community is violent, you yourself have to stop being violent. You yourself have to stop killing people. You yourself have to love yourself, love your family, love your community, and become more loving. You can't keep looking to the outside and blaming them and keep depending on them and waiting for white people to save you, waiting for others to save you. The Nigerians, when they come here, they depend on themselves. They care about their family. They love their family. They support their family, and they work themselves up, and they get out of poverty. And they're not in poverty that long, because they know about some poverty. They still got a whole lot of poverty in Nigeria. So poverty ain't great, and they know it ain't great, and that's why they come here and they work hard and make sure they ain't gonna be poor. It would be great if they stayed there and make their country better, but that's what they're trying to do. They're working on that. They're working on making sure, you know what, if we make our country great, we ain't got to come to America. So maybe you stop saying, make Iraq great again. Make Iran great again. You know, you can do it by calling it by its original name. I think, let's see, it's either Iraq or, I think Iraq is called Persia. It might be Iran. Don't really know. But yeah, work on your country. Make it great. You ain't got to come here at all. You ain't got to come to the great white Satan of America. You ain't got to come here at all. But, you know, I ain't worried about protesting because they don't have a goal or a plan. And all it's doing is making people money. So that's good for our country anyway. Because every time you have a protest, somebody's making money. Because after the protest, if you're hungry, you're going to give you something to eat. You're paying taxes. You know, you're paying sales tax. You're making somebody money after the protest. You bought some Black Lives Matter t-shirts. You made somebody some money. So these people are not. They're so ignorant to the fact that they're actually capitalists. They don't even know that they're actually capitalists. That's what's so funny about it. When I see the protests, I'm like, wow. I wonder who's gonna make money off of this. So they come up with these. You gotta think about it though. Okay, the two groups that wear black, the Antifa is a new group, ignorant, I don't know, some dumb kids, and Black Lives Matter. Who's making money? Anybody who's selling black clothes. Who else is making money? Anything that's Afrocentric. Anybody who's selling anything Afrocentric, urban, or anybody who's selling black clothes is making money. And you also need cell phones. Because these people ain't anti-cell phone. They're not so anti-capitalist that they don't want a cell phone. So they're still buying cell phone. They're still paying their bills to make sure they have a cell phone. They still make sure they have their internet bill paid so they can go on Facebook and rant about dumb stuff. So they're not totally anti-capitalist. They're not anti-capitalist at all. Everything that they do revolves around capitalism. The clothes that you buy, the food that you eat, the car that you drive, the phone that you have. It's all because of capitalism. If they wanted to be true socialists, they wouldn't own a cell phone because you didn't make it. In socialism, if you don't make it, you can't have it. If you want to be a true socialist, you can't have a cell phone, you can't have a car, you can't have these clothes, you can't have an internet bill, you can't have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, none of that. You can't have none of that because in socialism, if you didn't make it, you can't have it. They think socialism is they're against the conservatives. No, that's not what it means. Socialism means it's all about the community. Everybody's equally. Would it be equally poor or equally powerful or be equally rich? That's what you can't make a decision without the group. That's what socialism is. I guess it's the true democracy. Well, democracy is majority rule. That's not what socialism is. Socialism is there's no leaders, meaning everybody's equal. Everybody are the leaders. They're organized. Everybody are leaders. Everybody's leading something. That's what socialism or communism is supposed to be. It's great on paper, I guess. It usually doesn't work out because even though you're a community, there's going to always be somebody trying to shut you down. So if you're doing anything capitalist, you got to remove it. But it's not. In socialism, you can make money. It's not. It's not. You can still have money, but it all has to be community. So if there's a bank, then it all has to be community run. The community has to run the bank. It could be a government, it can be a military, it can be cops, but the community has to run it. So it's possible, but it's easier if your population was smaller. So yeah, these people they're not real socialists. They're some fake socialists. They ain't no real socialists. They're like capitalism in the closet. Yeah, they don't even know what socialism is. They didn't know. That's why I don't worry about young people. They don't pay no taxes. I'm talking about a real amount. They don't pay enough taxes for me to care about them, and they don't have enough information about even what they're protesting for them to be even a threat. So young people need to get yourself together. Get it together, man. Gain more information. Gain more true information. Understand what you're protesting, because you're protesting immigrants who want to kill you. It's happening in Sweden. It's happening in Germany. It's happening all around the world. These Somalians and Iraqis and Iranis and stuff are coming into these countries and raping women, assaulting people, burning people, killing people, blowing up stuff. Yeah, you don't want this to come here. And it doesn't matter if not all. This is a quote somebody said. He said, not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims.